Kia ora, my fishing friends. Welcome back to the channel, your go-to spot for all things angling. I'm thrilled to be here with another fresh forecast, and this time we're diving deep into the fishing prospects for our beautiful New Zealand waters from the 6th to the 12th of October 2025. Now this week, my friends, is shaping up to be a classic New Zealand spring. That means a mix of everything, some stunning, calm days that will make you want to call in sick, and a few blustery ones that'll test your resolve. But here's the exciting part. The fish, after their winter slumber and early spring spawning efforts, are waking up, they're hungry, and they're ready to feed voraciously. This is the time when opportunities truly abound, from the inshore estuaries to the offshore reefs, and especially in our magnificent freshwater systems. We'll uncover why this week is so special and give you the actionable tips you need to fill your chili bin or land that trophy of a lifetime. So, stick with me because you're about to get the inside scoop on how to make the most of this vibrant spring week. Forecast by Species and Tactics. Let's get down to the nitty-gritty and talk about what's biting and how to catch 'em. I've picked out 4 fantastic species that should be high on your hit list for this time of year, given the spring conditions and their current activity levels. First up, the legendary snapper, a true icon of New Zealand's coastal waters. This week, with our sea temperatures slowly inching upwards, these beauties are transitioning from their deeper winter hideouts and pushing into shallower, more accessible coastal areas. We're talking about reefs, rocky outcrops, and the edges of tidal channels, especially where there's good structure and baitfish are congregating. They'll also be exploring those surf-edge shellfish beds on beaches with the incoming tide. For tackle, my friends, soft baits are an absolute killer this time of year. Think natural colors, subtle greens, browns, and those motor oil shades rigged on a 1/2 ounce to 1 ounce jig head, depending on the current strength. Cast them close to structure and work them slowly, letting them flutter down like an injured baitfish. Remember, a slow retrieve with pauses can often be the most deadly. Another fantastic option, especially if you're targeting bigger specimens, is stray lining with a fresh pilchard or a piece of squid. Use a small running sinker, just enough to get your bait down, and let it drift naturally with the current. The incoming tide, particularly in sheltered bays and harbours, is your best friend for snapper as it brings in fresh food. Dawn and dusk are prime times, but don't rule out a bite during a high tide change throughout the day, especially if the pressure is stable. Next, for those who love a good fight, we've got the formidable kingfish. While their peak activity often hits a bit later in summer, spring sees these aggressive predators starting to move with renewed vigor. You'll want to target offshore reefs, pinnacles, and any substantial subsurface structure where baitfish are schooling. Kingfish are often found around areas with strong currents, as these concentrate their prey. Live baits are hard to beat for kingfish. A frisky koheru or mackerel presented near structure can be irresistible. If you're a lure enthusiast, stick baits and jigs are your weapons of choice. Look for signs of workups, seabirds diving, and baitfish splashing, as these are often indicators of kingfish feeding below. Work your stick baits aggressively across the surface or drop jigs deep and retrieve with a fast, jerky motion. Keep an eye on your sounder for bait schools and any larger arches underneath them. Early morning outgoing tides can be particularly productive for kingfish, as they ambush bait flowing out of harbours. Moving to the freshwater front, it's the official opening of the season for our magnificent trout, both rainbow and brown. The 1st of October traditionally marks the reopening of many rivers and streams, and the trout are absolutely ravenous after their spawning season and the leaner winter months. They are less wary at this time, making them a bit more forgiving to catch. Look for them in upper reaches of rivers, deep pools, slow runs, and along the edges of lakes where new insect life is emerging. Spin fishing is incredibly effective now, especially in rivers that might be carrying a bit of color from recent rain or snowmelt. Small, bright-colored spoons or soft plastics fished accurately can yield great results. For the fly fishers, nymphs like a pheasant tail, hare and copper, or a larger woolly bugger will be excellent choices. We're also seeing the very start of some mayfly and chironomid hatches on both rivers and still waters, so having a few larger dry flies or midge patterns ready could pay off on warmer, calmer days. Lake edges, particularly those with weed beds or drop-offs, are fantastic for sight fishing or blind casting with streamers. Finally, let's talk about the hard-fighting Kahawai. Often underrated, these fish provide incredible sport on light tackle and are an excellent option when other species might be a bit finicky. Kahawai are present in open coastal waters throughout New Zealand, though they're more common around the North Island. You'll find them in estuaries, off headlands, and wherever there are schools of baitfish. While some sources suggest October is a lower activity month, in my experience, they are always around and often provide non-stop action, especially if you find a feeding school. Small metal lures, spinners, and brightly colored soft plastics are highly effective. If you're into fly fishing, streamers are a blast. Look for bird activity or surface splashes, which indicate Kahawai pushing bait to the surface. They'll readily hit lures trolled behind a boat or cast from shore, particularly during the middle of the day when the sun is high and other fish might be seeking deeper water. Remember, these guys fight hard, so make sure your knots are solid. Analysis of conditions. Now let's break down the underlying conditions that will dictate our success this week. As I mentioned earlier, for October 2025, we're relying on typical spring patterns for New Zealand, as precise long-range forecasts are simply unavailable. Weather. Expect a truly mixed bag, typical of New Zealand spring. We'll likely see a transition from cooler, unsettled conditions early in the week to more settled, warmer days towards the weekend. Daily temperatures will generally be mild, ranging from around 12 to 15 degrees Celsius in the south to a pleasant 16 to 20 degrees Celsius in northern regions during the day. Nights will remain cool, dropping to around 6 to 10 degrees Celsius. Atmospheric pressure is expected to fluctuate, with a brief dip midweek followed by a steady rise. A rising barometer generally means more active fish as they feel more comfortable feeding in stable conditions. Wind will be a factor. Expect some southwesterly breezes early in the week, shifting to lighter, variable winds midweek before a potential northerly picks up towards the end of our forecast period. Strong winds can churn up the water, making it harder to spot fish or feel subtle bites, and can push baitfish into sheltered areas where larger predators will follow. We should see good periods of sunshine averaging around 6 hours a day, interspersed with patches of cloud and the possibility of some spring showers, which could put a fresh flush into our rivers. Water temperature. Our coastal waters are gradually warming up, but they're still on the cooler side. Expect sea temperatures to average around 15 to 16 degrees Celsius in the northern coastal areas, like Auckland, dropping to about 11 to 13 degrees Celsius further south, for example around Christchurch. This is still cool for swimming, but it's perfect for triggering fish activity. Freshwater lakes and rivers are also steadily warming, which is crucial for waking up those trout and increasing insect hatches. Fish are cold-blooded, so this increase in water temperature directly boosts their metabolism, making them hungrier and more active. They'll be seeking out areas where the water is slightly warmer, like shallower bays or sun-drenched edges, or where currents bring in warmer flows. Phase of the moon. For our forecast period, from the 6th to the 12th of October 2025, we kick off with a powerful celestial event, a full moon on Monday, the 6th of October. This full moon is also a hunter's moon, a supermoon, and even the harvest moon, making it quite significant. After this, the moon will transition into its waning gibbous phase for the rest of our week. Now, many seasoned anglers, including myself, have a special respect for the full moon. Popular fishing lore often suggests that the days leading up to and immediately following a full moon can be excellent for fishing due to stronger tides and increased nocturnal feeding activity. The stronger gravitational pull can lead to more pronounced tidal movements, which stirs up the bottom and dislodges food, putting fish into a feeding mood. However, some believe that the bright moonlight can also allow fish to feed all night, making them less active during the day. As we move into the waning gibbous phase, the moon's illumination gradually decreases, which can often lead to more consistent daytime feeding patterns, especially as the week progresses and the moon's influence on night feeding potentially lessens. My advice: Embrace the full moon's energy early in the week, but be prepared for a consistent bite as the moon wanes. Overall, fish activity. Generally, October marks a period of increasing biological activity across all species in New Zealand. After the cooler winter months, fish are actively recovering condition and preparing for the warmer breeding seasons to come. Many species that had slowed down during winter are now actively feeding, making them prime targets. Trout season has just opened, and these fish are often less cautious, offering excellent opportunities. Coastal species like snapper are moving into shallower, warmer waters to feed on abundant spring bait. Kingfish, while not at their absolute peak, are definitely on the hunt, especially around structure. It's a time of transition, with fish becoming more energetic but also potentially sensitive to sudden weather changes. Look for congregations of baitfish, as that's where the predators will be. Overall, expect a lively week with plenty of opportunities for those who understand the conditions. Forecast by days. Alright, let's break it down day by day, my friends. Remember, this is my expert prediction based on typical spring patterns in the moon phase, so stay flexible and observe the conditions when you're out there. Monday, October 6th. We kick off the week with a truly significant day, the full moon. The bite will likely be excellent. Expect powerful tides to stir up food, potentially triggering a morning feeding frenzy, especially for coastal species like snapper and Kahawai. The weather is likely to be mild with light variable winds, perfect for getting out. Fish will be actively feeding after the lunar influence of stronger tides. Focus on dawn and dusk, but also be ready for a midday bite around the high tide change. Tuesday, October 7th. Still heavily influenced by the full moon, which technically occurred at 3:47 a.m. UTC, the moon begins its waning gibbous phase. Conditions should remain good, perhaps slightly more settled than Monday. The fishing will be strong. Water clarity might be excellent if there hasn't been significant rain, making for great sight fishing for trout in the rivers. Marine fish will still be opportunistic feeders. Target those same productive spots as Monday, but perhaps expect a slightly more spread-out feeding window. Wednesday, October 8th. The waning gibbous moon continues its journey, bringing more stability. We should see good fishing today. Expect stable atmospheric pressure and moderate temperatures with a gentle westerly breeze. This is a day for consistent activity. Snapper might be working hard on shallow reefs and kingfish around offshore structure. Trout will be very active in the rivers, especially as midday insect hatches become more pronounced. Consider using soft baits for snapper or nymphs for trout. Thursday, October 9th. Fishing might be a little more capricious today. The forecast suggests a slight dip in atmospheric pressure and a shift to a stronger, cooler, southwesterly wind. This could make fish a bit more cautious. The bite might be moderate to slow. For coastal species, focus on sheltered bays and deeper drop-offs to escape the wind. Trout might hold deeper in river pools. Be prepared to slow down your retrieve and use more subtle presentations. Don't give up, but adjust your tactics. Friday, October 10th. Conditions should be improving as pressure stabilizes and winds ease, shifting to a lighter, more variable pattern. The bite should pick up to good. The fish will be more confident after yesterday's unsettled conditions. This is an ideal day to target kingfish with live baits around offshore structures, or explore those river tributaries for trout, which will be less wary. Coastal snapper will be on the hunt again, especially around incoming tides. A fantastic day to get out before the weekend rush. Saturday, October 11th. This is shaping up to be a truly excellent day for fishing. Expect mild, settled weather with light winds and plenty of sunshine. The waning gibbous moon provides a consistent influence. The bite will be excellent across the board. This is your prime day for a full day's fishing. Snapper will be in their feeding zones, kingfish will be patrolling reefs, and trout will be actively looking for food. Consider a dawn start for snapper or a full day on the river for trout, experimenting with both nymph and dry fly patterns as hatches occur. Don't forget your Kahawai, they'll be chasing bait schools vigorously. Sunday, October 12th. Another good day for fishing. though perhaps slightly less frenetic than Saturday, as we approach the last quarter moon. The bite will be good. Weather should remain mild, but a northerly breeze might start to develop later in the day, especially in the north. This could push warmer water inshore. Target those coastal areas again for snapper or explore the larger lakes for trout where they'll be cruising the edges. Keep an eye on the wind, and if it picks up, look for sheltered spots. It's a great day to consolidate your week's fishing or explore a new spot. Completion. So there you have it, my friends, a comprehensive breakdown for a fantastic week of fishing in New Zealand. Whether you're chasing the mighty snapper, battling a kingfish, outsmarting a cunning trout, or enjoying the relentless fight of a kahawai, this week, from the 6th to the 12th of October 2025, offers incredible opportunities. Remember, stay safe out there, respect our beautiful waters, and most importantly, enjoy every moment. May your lines be tight and your chili bins heavy. Until next time, my friends, tight lines, and as we say here in New Zealand, kia kaha. If you found this forecast helpful, please give it a big thumbs up. It really helps the channel grow. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you don't miss any of my future fishing adventures and tips. I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. What are your plans for fishing this week? What's your go-to lure or bait for spring fishing in New Zealand? Or perhaps you've got a secret spot you're willing to share? Let me know your thoughts and observations. Your insights are incredibly valuable to our community. Share your stories, ask your questions, and let's keep this awesome fishing conversation going. Happy fishing, everyone, and I'll catch you on the next one.